Good evening, Internet Land. I am Scruffy Matt. This is Scruffy's Retro Corner. We are taking a look back at the games of yesteryear. We are going to be continuing and probably concluding tonight our run on the first Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game. This is apparently the DLC chapter. And yeah. Hello, Don't Play. Good to see you in the chat. No hesitation, just jump straight in. Good to see it. How you doing? Hope you've had a good week. I bumped the screen. That's really cool music. I like this music. I've had a couple of days of good music though, because I've been playing the new Sonic Frontiers DLC update. Mixed feelings on it. Love the new playable characters. The difficulty spike. Whew. I haven't been able to finish it yet. I've been struggling on the final trial. Yeah. But in fairness, I am out of practice with Sonic Frontiers, so I am considering, starting it again from the beginning, and just to get better versed in it before I get up to that point. Yeah, that's a problem for another night, though. For tonight, our problem is that Phoenix is representing a client accused of murder who has already confessed to the crime. Kind of makes life difficult for us. So we did interrogate. Oh, pardon me. We did not interrogate. Cross-examine a witness on the stand last week, who is a former detective turned lunch lady, who turned out to be a not exactly reliable witness. She changed her story several times, and there was a 5-minute gap in between where she wasn't able to see what the supposed murderer was doing at all. So, yeah. In the end, it came down to a photograph she took, which pointed to... which we realized there was some sort of scarf or cloth in the exhaust of a car that the murder had taken place in. So we are now going to investigate that. I won't be disappointed if you don't play them, but the second and third games have some awesome twists and turns, just saying. I definitely intend to play them at some stage. I've really enjoyed this. I would love to play more of the series. I am eager to move on and play something else though on stream, because I've been doing this one now for a couple of months, and yeah, it'd be good to move on to something else. I definitely do intend to come back to the Ace Attorney series at some point though. For now though, let's continue the trial. Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of the lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Pretty much, yeah. Yep, that's a good analogy. I agree. Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Hey, don't steal my joke, Phoenix. Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell you the truth. Hola, partner. That sounds like trouble. Oh no, him again. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up his temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. Officer Marshall! Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They got the home ranch locked in tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What is going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have really been on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now, don't that just beetle? Huh? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slim neck many a time. I saw it that day, too. She was wearing a red muffler. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edward's seen it too, I reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. Sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, thank you, Han Solo. So, What are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? Cement. We're swimming in cement. If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee! Alright, here we go. I'd like to resume? Oh, this poor judge. He's seen so much. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Oh no. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue. Your lips are purple. You're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over. Your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. I'd say the LSD is probably kicking in. Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable! It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me. Knock knock? Who's there? Oh god. Who's this? What's with this guy? Strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Alright, what am I gonna do for this guy's voice? Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you. Oh. Sorry I'm late, Udgy. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, Udgy? How you been? Swim much these days? Ah, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy smizzy, Udgy, my boy. You have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Udgy seems to be his nickname for the judge? I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Haha, so you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Eh? Oh, thanks. So sorry about it. What a worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly! Is he supposed to be British? Little Worthy? Maybe he's supposed to be... Yeah, maybe he's supposed to be British. Mr. Wright! You don't know the District Chief of Police? Chief of Police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district! Alright, I'm gonna go British with this guy. Name's Gaunt. Damon Gaunt. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's Worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Mr. wasn't just saying things. When the crime occurred, Miss Guy really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On Little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief! What kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth! How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? He's got a point. Now wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document, where it says, person in charge of investigation. Uh-oh. There's no mistaking that signature, is there, Miles Edgeworth? That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had... Your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. Oh. It's the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah. The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure. I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes. Well, I think all you have to do is push that switch, and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point to people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Hey, who's taking control of my keyboard? Don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the court record. Now at the crime scene, wrapped in a defense muffler. Small tag attached. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police, the chief of peace of police. I can take words. I word very good. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police, and this knife? Sure thing. Not a problem, not even a little one, really. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? Wait, another one? That's hush-hush information, Archie. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. What is going on? Order. Anyway, we at the department were all flustered, as you might assume. We're in the middle of a top-secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright? 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places? The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Okay. Excuse me. Special? Mm-hmm. Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Raito, but I can't say that now. Not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you? See, there's a lot of things that go on at the department I can't explain. Yeah, like what's going on with that weird blue dancing mascot. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Raito. Maybe there's something about the knife that will give us a clue. SL92. Doesn't ring any bells. Let's examine that knife while we can, Raito. Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. I should try presenting the piece of evidence that's had me stumped all this time. So, how were things down at the department? That was a bad day for them. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eyes there, Raito, my boy. Sharp, hungry. So, something did happen, and why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? Ooh. No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? The detective was killed at the police department. See? What a mess. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot. Another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Dudgy? You don't need to look so happy about it, dude. I mean, ACAB, but, murder's another thing entirely. I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Raito? I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me data on your case. Ooh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing, and one thing only. Oh, jeez. Well, we already know when the victim died, and where the victim was found. We don't know how the victim was killed. I'm guessing it's probably a stabbing. Well, how was the detective killed? How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the force call a stabbing, with a knife. A knife. That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit, we're cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same. What do you mean? There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. Seems like I'm going to have to press this a little bit harder. 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our place at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? This is just my gut feeling, but I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk about it much. How can you say there's no connection? How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, Righto. You understand? Try to understand, Righto. Well, if you can prove there is a connection, more power to you. Maybe there is something that ties the two murders together? Whatever it is, I'd better find it to get to the bottom of this. 2 detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office, and one at the police department. That can't be a coincidence. And that knife! What was it doing there? I'd better check this knife out. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Excuse me, special? Mm-hmm. Oh, we already had that, didn't we? Okay, right, we're going back in. Alright, let's have a look-see. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. DL6. Maybe it's a case number? That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe I should check the court record again. Alright, what else have we got? There's no need to push this again. What's wrong? You look like I do during finals. Never mind, it's nothing. Ah, here it is. SL9. Upside down. Which would not make this 12-2, it would be 221. Wait a second. At last. An honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Ha! An honest goodness, what do you mean from... Oh, gee, this is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important. Why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7s 12 2. Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside? The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn around and what do you get? Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same thing that is written on the knife's tag. Order! Order! Well, Chief? Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, righto? I win? Ah. What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. That explains the tag. So this knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good showing, little Webby. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. And it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Oh. Oh yeah, okay, we've done this. Alright, so now what? We went over this stuff last week. Hey, check it out. There's a metal plate here. Looks like the names of all the previous recipients are engraved on it. Wow, one guy's listed a bunch of times. One comma. I guess he must be a foreigner? Yeah, that's probably it. Well, wherever he's from, he must have been an amazing prosecutor. I'd like to meet Mr. One comma sometime. When she says it, his name does kind of have a ring to it. I am very much looking forward to finding out how the blue badger is relevant to this case. Hang on. Now what's happened up here? That's interesting. That button on Heather's stream deck that makes the boo sound would break if she played these. Yeah. Alright, so we now have the memo turned the right side up. For all the good it's done us. It's blood. It's my sister's, right? Appears so. Mine's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Or sis. Doesn't look like there's anything else to check. Hard to think there wasn't a connection there. Alright. Well, let's try this. Alright, this isn't going very well, is it? Oh, there it is. How can you say there's no connection? How? Because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything. Oh, no, we did do this, didn't we? No, okay. I can't really see any obvious way to go. Do you have any suggestions, Dom Klein? Because I'm at a loss right now. I still think it's fishy that Edgeworth keeps a knife in his toolbox in the car. But, designed by the chief of detectives. Maybe he has something to do with this. Alright, let's go over everything he says again. Someone from the department said Well, we already know this stuff. But maybe I can get some further information from him by choosing the options where you already knew the information on. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Well, wait a second. I have heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's the connection between the two cases. Seem happy, Mr. Wright? Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With a link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details. Alright. Let's save again. Sweet, delicious save spam. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. But we just said that... The evidence room. Name and ID number in here. Sergeant Bruce Goodman, ID 5842189. So, when did the murder at the police department occur? Now that's a sharp question, right? Very sharp. Well, my boy, you're gonna love this. 5:15, yeah. Alright. I think I'm gonna need some help with this one. That badger plays an interesting role in the Edgeworth spin-off game. Okay. that sounds fun. Alright, let's see. Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Oh, by the way, welcome to the stream, chat. Good to see you. Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. ACAB? No, more like ACAS. All cops are stupid. Chief! I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial, after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Oh, sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. He won't tell me their name, after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Well, that's quite... well. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82... I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Oh, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. 5842189. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning? Has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? Five 842-189. Witness? What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused. And this is news? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. Police department, prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, writer. Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier, that started with 82. I've forgotten. You didn't even get the first number right again! The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, right? What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Sharp as attack, right? Sharp as attack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet, a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room, at the exact same time. What the hell is going on here? That's impossible. So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time? And in a completely different location? Order! 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 Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine. But I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error? Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Wait, that happened when we were there, didn't it? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha! Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Oh dear. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said that report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Ugh. Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy. Oh my god, has he been waiting this entire court trial just to make that pun? He has, hasn't he? What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence for? Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, yes. Boo! Well said, Don Klein. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in the court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. Ugh. The connection was just proven by Raito over here. Good job, Raito, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! It seems we have come to the end of the story. What? I know you're going through a tough time, with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. Ugh. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened, if it's the last thing I do. You better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day, as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well, court is adjourned. To be continued. Well, that was interesting. Yes, I will save. Right, what are we writing? As in Phoenix Wright? Now there's a boo-worthy pun. Mr. Wright? So, what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. Serious errors in it. Oh, you have doubts that this is the first time serious errors have been made in the court? He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're going to find out. Or try to, at least. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much... Pardon me. Not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cared? What? What do you mean there wasn't a body found there? Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence. Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. Well, she certainly can't be blamed for the evidence room murder because she was here at the time. The oil drum, was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never! Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all! It's just... we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is... luminol testing fluid. What, luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. But me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? Ooh. To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press enter to spray it on. Okay, let's find us some bloodstains. Oh, We got some. I can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So, is this a bloodstain? It's so... Ugh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just... This is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course. What's odd about this, scientifically? Location? Why, the bloodstain's location, of course. It's elementary. Huh? Oh, why is it elementary? I mean, I wouldn't think that if there was a fight, you'd expect some bloodstain. I mean, I would think that if there was a fight, you'd expect some bloodstains here. I suppose you might think that. Come on, Mr. Wright, we're all counting on you. There is something odd about this bloodstain. But if it's not the location of the blood, then maybe it's the amount of blood that's odd. I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna mark up the floor plans with where we found the bloodstain, okay? See? I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Mineral testing fluid received from one very proud-looking Emma Sky. Solution used for scientific investigation. Finds blood traces. Spray to use. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. And let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah! Feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. Ha! Let me guess. It's the Lone Ranger again. Oh, no, it's a lunch break. I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Star! You only trust your own eyes. Not bad, you two. This stale deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. Do we have to talk to her again? I really don't like this person. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Mr. But... No, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Ms. Starr? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may sing like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I drag the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long they called me the cuff-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. If these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case. The SL not. Whoa. Okay, here we go. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... What do you think about this? The SL9 incident? It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was a head detective on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transfer the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Apparently not. Okay. I had one of those up until 2 years ago. Back when you were the cover-up queen, right? We found this ID card here in the parking lot. Well, there's no mistaking that. It's definitely Goodman's. But it's the same ID as the man who was killed at the police department. That's impossible. I wish I could be so sure. Could you take a look at this? You? Yes? You said you wanted some hot tea, right? No, thanks. She didn't even look at it. You must have to brew the leaves a long time to get rich flavor like this. We pre-infuse the leaves with steam before brewing. I knew it! So that's the secret to their aroma. Exquisite! The only thing I'm smelling here is wasted time. Oops. Oh! Oh, no. I thought that was something. Someone used a marker to write their name on this. Emma Sky. Don't tell me you bring this with you everywhere you go. Well, you never know where something might go down. Just what kind of world do you think we live in? If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guardroom. But even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime. Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before. And I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time. It was when I grabbed the chief prosecutor on the shoulder. She dropped that phone on the pavement. That's when you heard her talking about the muffler, right? Little did I know, it was a trap. The red car's muffler and the prosecutor's red muffler. What was Miss Guy really trying to say, I wonder? Just being thorough. Body with Edgeworth's knife stuck in it was found in Edgeworth's car. I think he owes me his gratitude. Gratitude? Why, if I hadn't witnessed the crime, Mr. Edgeworth would have been the suspect. I wonder. Still, it's strange. Why didn't our chief prosecutor have her own murder weaponry? Yeah. That looks like a petrified piece of provolone. Huh? It's not. It's my attorney's badge. I think a petrified piece of provolone would fetch more on the open market. Look, my badge isn't up for sale. Not yet, at least. Alright, is you willing to talk more now? Finally. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? To who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So they didn't solve it? On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. Only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence of a sort. Made up evidence. Well, what? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those. Myself and one other person you know well. The Lone Ranger. Wait, could it be? Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten. Neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9. There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up there in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait! Those lunches you sell. There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this cursed office. I come here to meet old friends. Boyfriends that can help me investigate. This does old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, Rookie. What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. A Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Steak lunch received from Miss Starr. Excellent for putting Officer Marshall in a good mood. Okay. Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he your, are you his... Are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And He was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. That's Jake Marshall. Okay. Look, a door! This must mean something. I'm not sure that doors mean anything. No, it won't open! A mysterious lock! I fail to see what's mysterious about it. Mr. Wright, you need to learn to enjoy life more. Let's finish our investigation first, shall we? This is where the cars lead the lot. The arrow on the ground makes it look more like an entrance. What are you talking about? It's plainly an exit. Well, maybe it's both. Oh, we had this conversation last week. I'm still saying that this is not a stepladder, Phoenix, right? It is too tall to be a stepladder. No, my ears! Maybe it's due to the barometric pressure. What is she babbling about? Hey, what'd you just say? See? You can hear just fine. The phone's broken. So this is the famous divider. Sure helped us knock a hole in that testimony yesterday. Come to think of it, this divider helped our case more than the actual witness. Great divider. A chip off the old parking block. It's just a wall, scientifically speaking. So this is the famous oil drum. Oh, no time like the present. I'll try to kick it over myself. Hi-ya! That's okay. Don't cry. That wireless guy must be one strong woman. What's the button to slide? Q. That's where we found that note. 221 SL9. The SL9 incident. Case that was due for transfer the day of the murder. And the detective in charge of the case was the victim. I wonder what kind of case this SL9 incident thing was. It's kind of hard to guess just knowing the case number. That's about as red as a sports car can get. Yep, it's pretty red, alright. Body was found in Edgeworth's car trunk, and the lock on the trunk was broken too. So the question is, why did this guy choose this car? So what model car is it? I think it was called a sedan or a coupe, something like that. Those are car types, Mr. Wright, not models. You're a guy, aren't you, Mr. Wright? You're supposed to know these things. Maybe it is about time I got my driver's license. You once joked with Dom Klein and yours friend that this series was eventually going to give you an anime girl fetish to rival Heather's anime boy fetish. Yeah. I don't know. Personally, for me, a lot of the anime women in this series haven't really done it for me. Like this one, not my type. I prefer them less overbearing. I like friendly women. Alright, I guess we can try the police department next. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here, after all. So, the evidence room, the scene of the crime. Going to the pamphlet we got at the front desk. Here it is. It's like a kid in an amusement park. Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. The Blue Badger is still writhing around today. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's dancing. Speaking of dancing, the whole police department has been dancing around like crazy since yesterday. Can I take out his batteries? I just can't help but feel he's going to do something naughty. The usual one posters hanging up on the bulletin board here. Do you know his face? If you do, no, dial 911. No, Mr. Wright, I always thought it was kind of funny. I've never seen anyone who looked like the people in these posters. They hardly even look human. She has a point. Yeah, we had all these conversations last week. This is new. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. Yeah, I have a feeling I know whose office is, who manned this guard station. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So beyond that door is the evidence room, the scene of the crime. It sure seems that way. Oh. What's wrong? It says cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. Can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is if this is a guard station, where is the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Seriously. Yipes, those sure are prickly. They must be the real deal. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. How so? Encased in a cold, rigid shell with spines pointing in every direction. Just like her. I'm not so sure I see the resemblance. It's more an attitude thing than a physical similarity. There's a security guard uniform hanging here. It looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly. A leather jacket, leather pants, a leather... What was that called again? A punchy? A paunchy? A pinchy? I know, a poochie! Wait, maybe that wasn't it. It's a puncher, but I think I'll keep that information to myself for the time being. This swinging door makes the place look like some kind of saloon. But look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch! I'd say it'd be more of a yag myself. Oh, look, on the floor. A lasso. Looks like it's set up to trap something. A trap? Here? Oh, wait, I know. Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here. But the lasso missed. Sure, now have an active imagination. Looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here. There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of there. The evidence room is beyond that door. Let's just walk in. It won't open. You thought it'd be open? I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. Is there something I missed here? Okay. I guess we can try somewhere else. Oh. Emma wants to talk to you. This place is charged with frantic energy, as always. Please! Huh? What's that? One steak lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. Aww. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now's no time for despair. We've caught our criminal, now we just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... Oh, you heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? On the same day, the detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot. Another detective was killed at the police department? And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch. Pronto! Standing around here talking isn't going to fill my belly. Wait, don't leave! If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Wouldn't it be interesting if it was Officer Marshall? Later. That would explain why he's not here at his post. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. No? Okay. Alright. Let's go to... Still, I do feel better about things. A little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best not to go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing. Ow. What was that? Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? Wait, is it Miles? I'd say I was the perpetrator against her. That's what I'd say. Oh, Meekin. Hi. Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Officer Meekins. So you're a guard here at the detention center? Oh, is she really this slow in the uptake? No, sir. I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman, and like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report. No, sir. How should I say this? Why is his hand bandaged? Wait, he isn't. Is he? You, Officer Meekins, you didn't. Did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. What? What? Now, this is an unexpected turn of events. Is his hand bandaged? Sir, I'm a patrolman with General Affairs, sir. Sir! Ow, I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. I had some business that day, sir, and so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So normally there's a guard at the evidence room? That's right, sir, because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now, the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir. A suspicious person. Yow, ow, ow, ow. What the heck is this guy doing? So, what happened then? Well, after that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. And when I came to, I was here, in the detention center. That doesn't match the timeline, though. Because that happened 5:15. But we saw him the next day at the prosecutor's office. How long were you out? Days? Might I ask what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. Bandage on his hand. Just like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first. Tell us how you hurt your hand. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? But sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do. Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. Next thing you knew, you were, huh? Then, when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir. All alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. What? Then when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hand, sir. Oh, the shock! Oh, the sorrow, sir! Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared? That's some story. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir! If you have to label me as perpetrator or victim, sir, then label me victim! I would, but you happen to be in detention. And alive, and well at that. Ah, yes, well that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So you didn't know him. Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light and other creature comforts. Customer service? I don't know any detectives. So, if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir. None. No, nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. Well, at least someone around here is more confused than I am. Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey! That's it, sir! That's it! That's it! That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment! But sir, now I remember, sir! You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card was the cause of it all! This ID card? Exactly, sir! That's exactly it! Nothing could be more exact, sir. Nothing! I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. Okay, so... Let's have a look at the autopsy. Died within an hour and a half, 4 p.m. Okay. So, what if the detective was killed in the evidence room by some unknown person who conked Meekins on the head here, and then they got the body to the prosecutor's office and dumped it in Miles's car just after he came in and parked there? That's the only way this makes sense to me. Except that they think their murder happened at 5:15 too, don't they? And they may actually have video evidence. Can you tell me what it is you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a lost little patrolman. A lost little lamb, if you will. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman who was in the evidence room. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious. Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing! Suddenly he pointed a knife at me! What? Sir, I assure you I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and I laughed at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him? Do unto others before they do unto you! My own father's words, sir! What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir, everything went white. When I awoke, I was here. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim, who he met at the scene of the crime, didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That's it, sir! That's what I wanted to say! That is, I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? Well, they told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time, Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly. No, but the videotape is quite clear. Huh? Videotape? Told you it was video. From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out, it's there, it's me, it's on tape. And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No thanks, I have my own. I guess we better go check out the crime scene. Yep, not much point sticking around here. Hey, Mr. Wright, look who's standing at the Chief of Detectives' desks. There's Police Chief Gant. And you're sure this is all? You know what it means if there's anything missing. So, I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his drawers, lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats. Under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. Oh. Sorry. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away. Deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the police again, sir. Wait. I thought this guy was the chief of police. Who's his other chief? Oh, chief of detectives. Okay. Ah, righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much? Oh ho, Chief Gant, reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? Is Edgeworth going to be okay? Oh, were they? Oh, you know, they're doing little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yep, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident on Gort Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defense seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right, Righto? Sure did. One karma. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? That's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their own turf, too, I mean. They're being the prosecutors, I mean. Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? Now, Righto, I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive, and I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets. Can't stand them. But, you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives trapped shut. Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier. Huh, you saw that? Oh, whoops. I wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do. Well, let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. Do I want to... I was wondering, could you take a look at this? Sorry, Righto. I'm through with that stuff. Through, I say. Go find the guy who can't seem to sit still in there. The busy one. The guy who can't sit still? Does he mean Detective Gumshoe? Either him or the dancing blue badger. Is there anything he is likely to talk about? No. Whew. This guy's a tough nut to crack. Still no one here. Very odd. I don't think this guy's gonna talk at all. Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not. Well, except for this, of course. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? Date on it is February 21st. The date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that, just in case. Half-written document dated 21st of February can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. That's the same date as on the DL9 memo, isn't it? I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. Yep, February 21st. ID 59. Interesting. Alright. Still. I wonder if I'm missing something. That must be one of the detectives. He's not writing a report, he's writing a novel. Sign's a little changed from the one outside. Ah, well, the Dancing Blue Badger TM is still under development, you see. You have it trademarked? Absolutely. It's cutting-edge stuff. Very down. I showed this doll here to my daughter and she burst into tears. Don't show her the moving mock-up outside then, you'll give her nightmares. I agree. So that's where Miss Star saw the incident from. You can probably see quite a lot from up there. That probably means she wasn't lying when she said she saw Miss Sky stab him. Where's the security guard anyway? Well, this is just something I heard, but apparently he went out to buy coffee for Miss Star. That woman is a force to be reckoned with. I feel like we've already examined everything here, but I'm not quite sure where to go. B block is through there. That's where visitors park. So Miss Star climbed over this fence? It seems so, yeah. That fate is 9 feet high at least. Oh dear. It's okay, don't cry. Maybe there's on to the Olympics team. Hmm. You know what? Maybe there is something I'm forgetting to do. What if... Okay, I guess not. Well, just a thought. Alright. Let's go back to the guide. What am I missing? Ah, okay. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Raito asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. It's a very penetrating stare. Very unnerving. Now, Raito. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all. Raito, please, do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50, I'd give them $50, no problem. I want $50. Can I have $50? So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. That just goes to show, you never know until you ask. And for you here, you can borrow this. Huh? Hey, this is Detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir, it's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. Is it just me, or does this guy seem too good to be true? Looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha, the card reader is turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well. Was me my bambina sky so grey? Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? Why are you surprised? What's that? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may surmise, this is my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than the sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. Crime scene's awaiting. We'll take the card readers on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with this hombres. Well, let's give him the stupid lunch for stupid cop people. Stupid people, persons. Stupid. That smell. Reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Starr. What's this? What? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch? I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask anything. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. That poor little doggy. Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. No, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zip. No, he's obviously named his car Zippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take the machines much. Kinda like that new stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. So it's my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the Christine of the Crown. That's all gone now. Like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There's some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case? That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence for unsolved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? A bit late for that, considering that the suspect was executed. So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault of the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen! Like I said, Bambina, me machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand here are these security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. Nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard, and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. That's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record. Yep, there it is. 5842189. 5:14 p.m. That doesn't necessarily mean Detective Goodman was here, though. It means his card was here. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambino. I can't show you more than that. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. See this? This is the victim's ID card. The one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look, the fourth number. It's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the whole world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. But wait, what did Officer Meekin say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing! Suddenly he pointed a knife at me! If he had his ID card, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. ID card record added to the court record. IDs of all who entered the evidence room on February 21st. I got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Alright, let's go have a look in the evidence room. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room? It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Eek! Ah! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smoking ghosts on the head, pal. So, is it true what I heard? Right, please do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50, even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plans added to the court record. Scene of the stabbing of a detective at the PD. So, Detective Gumshoe, you're boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here, in the police department. But if you're a boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. And my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Ah, of course. I'm a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coated with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor. If the wrong person touches it, the zap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Evidence locker added to the court record. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee right now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess it's what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. Detective Goodman's note, and that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. That's a victim, Detective Goodman's ID card. These days, everything's cards and secret numbers. I can never relax. That's only because you always lose your card. I always forget my secret number, too. Scary, huh? My face should be ID enough. What's the world coming to? Detective Gumshoe, rebel against the system. What else might be relevant to you? Well, we haven't looked around yet. Let's come back to this. Oh, there's nothing sticking out of here. Oh, so there is. Oh, looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. Wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal. Making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? Well, if you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're going to talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. This place is stuffed with evidence. Stuffed with dreams. Not so sure about the dreams. It won't open. Did you really think it would? Hey, pal. Our security is high-tech around here. Wow! Look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some kind of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles from range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. That's the door we just came in through. Looks like you don't need an ID card to get out. I wonder what would happen if Officer Marshall cut the power while we were inside. Let's hope he remembers we're in here. Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a soaring-looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal. That's the metal detector. The one that led to the solving on that case on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like it was ages ago. And I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it will come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. A cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. You gotta look at the heart. Ooh, bloody handprint. What's this? Blood? It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. Looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use a testing fluid to check it out. Sounds like a plan. Oops. Oh. It's quite a lot of blood. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien? This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you don't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. I see that one of the lockers is hanging open. Oops. Whatever. Alright. Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker? Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all those pieces. Detective Gumshoe? Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SO9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try and put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Okay, sure. This might take a while. No, that's going to be the top, isn't it? What is that? Oh, is that the lid? All this lab techie stuff reminds me you got to play the new Spider-Man when it comes out. Probably not. Number one, I don't have a PS5. I don't think it's coming out on PC at the moment. Is it? Well, even if it is, I don't think my laptop would be able to handle it. It lagged severely earlier in the year when I was playing the first Spider-Man game. I would love to finish streaming that one of these days, but I think I need to get a decent PC for that. Either that, or maybe I just have too much garbage on my hard drive taking up memory. Maybe that was a problem. But going through my hard drive and cleaning it out is a big job. I have a lot of junk on here. I feel like I'm missing something here. Let's just move out of the way. All right. No. I wonder if there's some pieces missing when messing here. Oh, here we go. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. That looks right. There's still a piece missing. Interesting. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are still missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. Oh, now my face is in the way again. Nope, no, come back. Oh no. Oh, it's all going wrong. I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jar added to the court record. Jar pieced back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Someone left a glove here, but only one. SL911. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know? You mean SL9? Does have a tag on it. Rubber glove added to the court record. Tagged evidence from the SL9 incident. Extremely thin rubber glove. Didn't they say that Maya was wearing rubber gloves at the time? Sorry, Lana. Lana was wearing rubber gloves at the time of the murder? I wonder if that's connected somehow. If you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. And there are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? And two, doesn't that seem a little unstable? No wonder it broke. I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. What is the Soren paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger? Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room? That does not seem very clever. But hey, it is Gumshoe. Alright, I think we looked at everything. Now that was a bloody, violent case. Violent. So it was a murder. A serial killing. A serial killing. Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago. That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight, and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence. It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. That was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So that switchblade knife... The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Wow, we got a lot of stuff here now. Detective Goodman's not, that's switchblade not, yeah. Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing! That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth! What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? ID card record updated in the court record. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? 4:40 p.m. Okay. And that's 35 minutes before the murder at the prosecutor's office. So he must have come here right before he left. Because they said it's about a half-hour trip. Interesting. Whoops. You can't open the lockers if your fingerprint doesn't match. If you can open it, they'll give you 50 cents. No, the police department lacks faith in its lock system. After all, Detective Goodman was stabbed here after opening his locker. But at the same time, he was found dead over at the prosecutor's office. Sheriffs back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. About the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is neither Wild nor West here. But that and this are two entirely different things. I guess, I'm lost. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Oh, Chief's gone. Hmm. Officer Meekins, could you take a look at this? I'm sorry, sir. Really sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth, sir. He's passing the buck, Mr. Wright. It takes a special kind of man to pass the buck to Edgeworth. He's got a point, though. Can we go back to Edgeworth's office if we go to the prosecutor's office? Well, this place is as classy today as it was yesterday. And I'm sure it'll still be just as classy tomorrow, Emma. Incidentally, Edgeworth's not here. I'm sure he's off doing important investigations. I hope that's what he's doing. Or he's doing the inquiry. Oh, sorry, I missed some chat. Damn, I was gonna drop the "it's fine" emote as a joke, but my Heather sub seems to be expired. Probably escaped me since she didn't stream on Thursday. Oh well, you'll renew it Monday. Yeah, my subscription to Heather expired too, which is why I didn't leave an announcement that I was going live in the self promo channel on her Discord. I don't have access to it anymore. Well, that depends on your Japanifornia stance. Japan wouldn't be West, but California kind of barely qualifies. Yeah. Classy, that confirms it. The setting of these games is San Diego. I like San Diego. I've been there a few times. I was there just a little over a month ago, actually. My partner and I went on a holiday to California, went to Disneyland, went to Universal Studios, and we also took the train to San Diego to go to the San Diego Zoo because that's on the kiddos' bucket. Well, was on the bucket list. So yeah, she was pretty happy about that. And of course, my partner and I have been to San Diego a number of times for Comic Con. It felt weird going to San Diego this time and not going to Comic Con. But, yeah. Anyway. I guess we'll have to come back. Well, but I need to question him about the thing. He won such a prestigious award. Why would he just leave it on the couch? Yeah, you'd think he'd want to show this thing off more than that giant steel samurai. Then again, Edgeworth has always been like that. Really? Hey, I should write this down. Tell me what he was like as a kid. Well, back in elementary school, he won awards for all kinds of things. Speech contests, essays, playing the flute, golf tournaments. That doesn't exactly sound like typical elementary school stuff. But he always hated receiving awards. He'd make some smart remark like, I know the path I've walked. No one else needs to tell me. That's how he's always been. Kind of gets under your skin, doesn't it? Mr. Edgeworth has such a comfy sofa. Sofas like this make me want to curl up and take a nap. I bet he pores over his case files here until the wee hours of the morning. And then he takes off his jacket, rolls up his sleeves, and goes to sleep using his arms as a pillow. I don't believe it. She's actually daydreaming about Edgeworth working. I bet in the morning he has sofa hair and little creases in his cheek from the seams. He's so cool. Sofa hair is cool? It's starting to get a bit late. Maybe I should check where I should be going. I thought this was the obvious place to check, but maybe I missed something again. Oh, right. Did I not spray the bloody handprint? Alright. We're going back to the evidence lockers. Oops. I knew it. This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter? What's the matter, Detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours. Please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. Well, that's for sure. What? But you're a detective. It's odd. Oh, spray the locker with the white ink. Alright. I knew that. I know what I'm doing. Who said I didn't? Here we go. Another handprint. Ugh, why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey! That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? Yeah, it's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you need to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edwards' inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm gonna go give them my report for the day. It might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later! I should probably see what Edgeworth had to say, too. Alright, let's go do that. Ah, Gus, my apologies. What's this guy doing here? Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has a hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the chief of police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still, wow, I've never seen this out of sorts. Alright, let's see. Right, please. I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. I'll pass on the tea. Just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very polite manner. Whose side do you want, anyway? Maybe I just show him my best evidence I can get some reaction out of him. Alright. Alright, I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go, by Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be in the evidence. It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Yeah, well, we've heard that before. Now I'm curious about this other case. Better make a note of it. Unrelated evidence, screwdriver added to the court record. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth, brought back to his office by Gant's request. Stubborn as always, I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. there anything else I missed? Oh, now we will look at the other thing. Okay. Why do I have to do it in a... Oh, okay, this. I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You were the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too then. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods and more. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. That's true. When he figured out what was going on with the Steel Samurai case, he certainly leaned more in our favor for that one. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid. Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminium powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Fingerprinting set and fingerprint file received. Recovers fingerprints from handprints for comparison with fingerprint file. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Yep. Thanks, Edgy. Thanks, best buddy. Now, investigation turned up the suspicious handprint. Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger! Well, I assume that'd be this one. Okay, now it's time to check the prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminium powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With enter, see? Ah, looks like that did the trick. The aluminium powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With E! Exciting, I know. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, that looks like fun. Might take some getting used to. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. What kind of a what kind of an attorney do you think I am? Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. Guess I better give it a try. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, it's a mess. Look at all this cocaine. Ah, there we go. Aha! You did it! You found one! But this looks like nothing. This looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now you mention it, I guess it doesn't. Well, what does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left his handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Look at the locker door again closely. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the body handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Okay, fingerprints outside the blood. There we go. Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Probably Gumshoe. No. I need to move my face again. Yay! Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time. But there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. think I got it in place now. Okay. It was here. Yeah. Okay. This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right! There was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this? There you go, right, sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? Well, we only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of our hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Okay. Ooh, we got something. I'll get my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? It doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Oh wait, if that's the thumb there, it would be up here then? Here we go. Now we're getting something. Yeah, sure. Let's try him. I think he's sus. No match found. Alright. Hello. Hey, these fingerprints, Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? Marshall's fingerprints added to the court record. Found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. The print had been wiped. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction, the blood, and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped bloodstain. But why would Officer Marshall? Looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. To be continued. It's getting late. How much longer does this trial go on for? Is it just the second? Is it just day 3? Or is there more beyond that? I wonder. Yeah, it looks like there's going to be still plenty to do next week, so I might leave it here for this week. They're never perfect. Watch some more crime dramas / documentaries, Nick. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. I think it's time to finish for tonight. This case is more involved than I expected. I figured we'd be wrapping it up tonight, but nope, still going. Thank you for watching. Dom, Chet, nice to always see you in the chat again. Next week, I will be picking this up again Saturday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Is it still going to be Standard Time? I'm not sure. When does Daylight Savings kick in? Here we go. Daylight Savings Australia. 2 a.m. on the first Sunday in October. Okay. So, yeah, it'll still be Australian Eastern Standard Time next week because it will kick into Daylight Savings just a couple of hours after I finish the stream. All right. So down below, there's the usual links if you'd like to see more stuff from me. There's my YouTube channel where I archive all my Twitch streams, including all the previous parts of playing this game. There is my Twitter account. Yes, I still call it Twitter. Screw you, Elon Musk. I don't care what you've renamed it. You can, see my updates there. Stuff I retweet. A few complaints I had about the new Sonic DLC, and the progress I've been making on my Professor Oak challenge in Pokemon Black 2. Getting closer to fighting the 3rd gem. I still have a half dozen odd Pokemon I still need to evolve before I can do that, though. And then, of course, there is also my Tumblr, where I have been doing a series of blog posts regarding how the Archie Comics Sonic the Hedgehog series was actually a syndicated cartoon. Yeah, ha. So the most recent one I put up last week was the Rashomon episode, which popped up a couple of times. Most prominent one was a story where Sonic and Sally and Antoine could not agree on how they had taken down a robot. But the saddest thing about the whole Archie Sonic Rashomon thing was there was going to be a Rashomon story involving Sonic and Mighty and Ray, which would have been sort of a flashback adaptation of the game they were in together, the Sega the Sonic the Hedgehog, the arcade one with the trackball. But that never happened because the series got cancelled, and I really would have loved to have seen that. Especially since I've never been able to play that game. Obviously, it's never been re-released in any form. Very sad. This case wasn't your favorite either. Yeah, it's not bad, yeah, I think some of the previous ones were more interesting, like the Silver Samurai and the one where Miles was on trial. Yeah, Miles on trial. Trials, Edgeworth. Ha! Yeah, got him. All right, I think it's time to wrap it up. Thanks again for watching, guys, and hope I'll see you again next week. Look after yourselves, and yeah, thanks again. Bye.